UFC Fight Night, Cejudo versus Song, hottest takes of the card. And ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to get it started with the main event. Henry Cejudo taking on Yadong Song. I'll say it right now. This is Henry's last fight at 135 pounds. I know a lot of people are thinking, oh, maybe he's got a shot to go out there and beat Song Yadong. I believe he's got a great shot to go out there and upset Song Yadong in this main event. I don't think he wins, but I think he's got a good shot as an underdog here. But I do believe if he loses to Song Yadong, Yadong Song, however you want to say it, in this fight, he's not going to fight at 135 pounds ever again. We look at the UFC and we look at the bantamweight rankings right now. He loses to Song, number 8 in the bantamweight division. The man is never touching gold again at 135 pounds. And, you know, the path to victory right now, if he's able to get past Song, is good. He beats Song. He could beat a Sugar Sean O'Malley, a Petr Yan, get a top 5 fight, then fight for the belt, as he is kind of the guy that had the closest fight with Merab Dvalishvili. So he's got a game plan right now to go back to the bantamweight title. Losing to Song Yadong puts him like 4 fights away from potentially fighting for another belt. It's highly unlikely. So I do believe if he loses again here to Song Yadong in the bantamweight division, he's going to move to flyweight. He's going to move to flyweight, where he could easily, losing to Song Yadong doesn't mean he can't fight immediately in the top 5 in the flyweight division. I think immediately, if he wanted to, he could get a fight with Brandon Moreno. I think immediately, if he wanted to, he could fight Amir Albazi, a Kai Kara France, a Tatsuro Taira, and I think he could possibly win some of those matchups. So I think after this weekend, Henry Cejudo, Song Yadong, we will have seen the end of Henry Cejudo at 135 pounds. I think he moves down to flyweight and has one last run there. Bantamweight is done after this weekend. And I think he's one fight away from fighting for the belt at flyweight. If he beats Moreno, Albazi, Kai, Tatsuro, anyone, because of how dominant Alexandre Pantoja is, the fact that Brandon Royval is injured, dude, he could easily earn a title shot in the flyweight division. So we shall see. But as of right now, my hot take is Henry Cejudo is done in the UFC bantamweight division, and he will be one fight away from fighting for that flyweight belt. Next, we go on to the co-main event. A hot take here is Fluffy Hernandez. Fluffy Hernandez, 13-2 in his prime, 31 years old. A lot of finishes on his record. On a streak right now, finishing Rodolfo Vieira, taking his O, finishing Marc-Andre Barrios, Edmund Shabazian, Roman Kopylov, who's in the top 15, and Michel Pereira, who's in the top 15 dominantly. I think out of everybody in the middleweight division, I think Dricus du Plessis is obviously a tough matchup for Khamzat Chimaev, and I think Dricus beats Khamzat Chimaev. But if you had to look at what would be an absolute nightmare matchup, it's Dricus du Plessis and it's Fluffy Hernandez. Those are the two men that pose just absolutely massive threats to Khamzat Chimaev. I'm gonna say it right now. I'll say it after the fight. I'll say it till the day I die. Fluffy Hernandez has the number 1 or number 2 chance to beat Khamzat Chimaev and take his O. You think about it style-wise in the UFC middleweight division. Who is Chimaev beating? He is finishing guys like Kevin Holland. Okay. He's finishing guys like Robert Whittaker, a striker. He's decisioning in a really close fight, a wrestler in a 3-round fight. That's telling. He's decisioning another wrestler grappler in a very close 3-round fight, finishing the strikers, finishing the grapplers with the striking. But when he fights the grapplers, when he fights the wrestlers, Kamaru Usman, Gilbert Burns, the fight goes to a decision in a 3-round fight, and he loses round 3. So what is a guy like Fluffy Hernandez going to do when they put Fluffy versus Khamzat Chimaev as a title fight, as a 5-round main event? What is Fluffy Hernandez going to do after he survives that early onslaught? Because he's able to wrestle and grapple. He's not going to get dominated by the likes of Khamzat Chimaev. He'll survive that early onslaught. What is Chimaev going to do when he starts gassing out in round 3, in 4, in 5? He's going to wilt. and Fluffy Hernandez is going to beat Khamzat Chimaev and become the first guy to defeat him and take his O in the UFC. Ladies and gentlemen, that's Chimaev's nightmare matchup. Dricus du Plessis or Anthony Hernandez are the toughest fights in the weight class. No debate. There's literally no debate to be had there. Those are the toughest fights for Khamzat Chimaev right now. We move on. Rob Font, John Matsumoto. My hot take, I guess, is just I have Rob Font winning, and I don't understand why the odds have John Matsumoto as a 2-1 favorite. Makes no sense in my opinion. We'll see. I don't know if that's necessarily a hot take because there's a lot of people predicting Rob Font, especially on the Tapology prediction, so not necessarily a hot take. But we move on. John Silva, Melsik Bagdasaryan. John Silva is going to squeak by. John Silva is going to squeak by. He's gotten a dominant decision win on the Contenders series over undefeated Kevin Vallejos. He dominated Weston Wilson, dominated Charles Jourdain, pretty much dominated Drew Dober, short notice, up a weight class. I think John Silva squeaks by. He's not going to finish Melsik. He's not going to knock out Melsik. He's not going to 30-26, 30-27 Melsik. I think he is going to squeak by with a 29-28 decision. It's my hot take, ladies and gentlemen. Prove me wrong, comment down below. And John might prove me wrong this weekend. He might knock out Melsik. But I really do see this being a 29-28 close back and forth war and a very close decision. We shall see, though. We shall see. That is my personal opinion there. It's a very hot take. A lot of people confident on John Silva to knock out Melsik and dominate him in this fight. I think he squeaks by. All right, we move on. Julius Walker, Alonzo Menifield. Interesting fight. I got Julius Walker losing this fight this weekend. But 1 year from now, again, I don't know if this is a hot take, but 1 year from now, February 2026, I think Julius Walker beats Alonzo Menifield. Right now, I think Alonzo wins. Give him a year. Give Julius some improvement. Alonzo getting to 38 years old. Julius getting to 26 and improving the striking, cardio, and wrestling. 1 year from now, Julius Walker beats Alonzo Menifield. 1 year from now, Julius Walker is ranked caliber in this UFC light heavyweight division, but not right now. Right now, Julius Walker is top 25, but he's not top 15 level just yet. Give him a year. Give him a year of improvement, and he'll be there. But right now, the man's debut in professional MMA was 2023. 2023. He had 2 fights in 2023. He had a buttload of fights in 2024. I think 4. 6-0 now in 2 years. Give him another year. Give him another year of improvement, and I promise you guys, he's going to go out there and he's going to beat Alonzo Menifield. We'll see what happens. This weekend, I think he loses. But next year, I think Julius Walker's a problem, and he's in that top 15. Last hot take of the card, Mansour Abdul Malik, 1-0 in the UFC, 27 years old. You know, he's going to be 2-0 after this weekend. My hot take for him, go over to the UFC rankings of the middleweight division. I think Mansour Abdul Malik beats Bo Nickel. I think he beats Roman Kopylov. I think he beats Michel Pereira. I think he loses to Anthony Hernandez. That's a little bit much. I think he beats Paulo Costa. I think he beats Roman Dolidze. And I think he beats Brendan Allen. And Marvin Vettori, back and forth, split decision either way. Other than that, I think he loses. But right now, I really do believe he beats a majority of number 8 through number 15 in the middleweight division right now. I'm very high on Mansour Abdul Malik. I think right now, you put him in there with Bo, with Roman, with Michel. He puts on some close fights, and I think he wins most of them. We'll see what happens. Those are my hot takes for this weekend's UFC fight. And I got Mansour Abdul Malik beating a lot of the current UFC top 15. Julius Walker, I think 1 year from now he beats Alonzo Menifield. But right now I think he loses. Give him some more time, some more experience and training and improvement. And I think he wins. But right now he's not there yet. He's not there yet. John Silva, I think he squeaks by against Melsik Baghdasaryan in a very close 29-28 decision. Anthony Hernandez is the nightmare matchup for Brendan Allen. Debate me in the comments. I feel very, very good about that. Henry Cejudo, I think this is his last fight in the bantamweight division. I think he moves down to flyweight after this. We'll see. We'll see. But that's my opinion. Thank you guys for watching. Like and subscribe. We'll see you in the next one.